I don't see 22, I see 18 countries in semi-final 2. Yes, semi-final 2. The jury show is this evening. Now we're filming this before the jury show because we have a party to throw. That is the Wiwi Jam. And I know these guys are going to be way too tipsy to do any work tonight. So we're going to react to what we just saw in the dress rehearsal prior to the jury show. So consider this our pre-recorded commentary. Are you ready? Let's do this! Eurovision's divided into halves, but you can learn about your whole history with MyHeritage DNA. Go to bit.ly/wiwidna. In any case, this semi-final is banging, and before we started filming, we decided to make up our own individual lists of who we think are going through to the final, and we agree on how many songs?
7 songs.
And I'm gonna grab that list right now. That was my own costume change. No one saw that coming, honey.
There we go.
Daria's here with us.
Tamta doesn't know what's going on anymore.
That was Edurne, what I just did. All right, now listen, the 7 countries we agree on are Romania, Denmark, Sweden, Malta, Russia, Netherlands, and Azerbaijan. Okay, all 3 of us individually agree that they are going through. So, very quickly, we're just gonna give one adjective, one quick phrase about all of these. Starting with Romania.
Really, really good acting. It sounds great. The pyro is amazing in there. I think it's a clear qualifier, and I'm surprised it's being so underrated.
If you're in the first few rows, do not wear hairspray. There is a lot of fire on this stage. They have poured the gasoline truck out on this stage. It is fury, it is fierce. The daughter of Dracula rises from the ashes. This is banging.
But also, as well as fire, there's water full of Atlantis glamour.
Yes.
Love it.
Next, Denmark, Leonora.
Love is forever.
Love is forever and
everyone. Beautiful, really well staged. She sounds great. She connects with the camera so much better than she did at DMGP. Another one that I just can't see not qualifying at this point.
Previously, she felt like a puppet, a marionette being controlled by producers, but now Leonora is a woman in charge. She has come to life. What did Sia say? I'm alive. And Leonora has that song on loop. This is so sweet. I forget who said it. Maybe it was you. Maybe it was you. This is one of only a few acts that isn't dark. There's no fire. There's no plumes of smoke. It's just sweet, innocent, and pure, and I love it.
Girl takes me to cloud 9. Girl is taking Denmark to the grand final.
Yes. All right, very pithy. Sweden, John Lundvik, Too Late for Love.
Amazing vocalist, really well staged. Still think it's a potential winner.
Today was the first time I got that very clear winner's vibe. It came out, it's just very crisp, very polished. When the mamas, the 4 backing vocalists, come out and sing, they really slay. It's just really fantastic. I could watch this over and over and over.
Yeah, Sweden is in it to win it again. Has anyone checked availability at the Scandinavium in Gothenburg for May 2020?
We move on to Kama Chameleon, boom, boom, boom. Kama Chameleon, boom, 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 boom. It is Malta, Michaela.
This was probably the first run through where it all felt like it really came together. Michaela looked a lot more confident. She has grown in confidence with each performance, and tonight I fully expect that she will nail it.
They did a new version, the final version of their LED overlay. This is incredibly complicated because they have multiple projectors going on. We actually spoke to their delegation ahead of this rehearsal. There was an additional rehearsal, but it was a stand-in. So Michaela, because of the rules, she cannot rehearse again, but the technical crew are allowed to rehearse again, simply because certain technical things are much more difficult to nail. So well done to them.
Yeah, this is amazing. I've loved it since the first run through. No way it's not going through to the grand final. It's beautiful, it's fantastic, it is a pop of colour. And like Leonora, it is one of the only songs in the semi-final that is truly happy, joyous, and not fire and darkness and doom.
Yes. The next country we all agree on is Russia, Sergei Lazarev. I'm gonna start off with this one. Let me tell you why. This, when you look at it, it's so technological, it's so fierce, and I can identify it as somehow Russian when I look at it based on the colors. It's so cool. It's just so, I don't know, above and beyond. You know, they often go above and beyond at Eurovision, like their stage in Moscow. It feels very Russian, very dramatic. Sergei looks great. Yeah, and he's a huge star. It's going through.
Yeah, I mean, it's going through. I still don't particularly find it the winner that a lot of people predicted it to be. I think it's probably coming top 10, but I think that's its reach. But for what it needs to do to get through to the final, I think it's 100% making it. And Sergei sounded really, really good today. He is the best bit of this entire thing. Sergei is such a great leading man.
Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all? Sergei Lazarev. This is amazing. It is a staging moment, and it is one of the things commentators all over Europe will be talking about in tonight's semi-final and in the grand final on Saturday night.
We say it all the time. What's better than one Sergei Lazarev? 8 Sergei Lazarevs. All right. Next, the bookies' favorite to win it all, the Netherlands, Duncan Lawrence. This is going through. There's no scenario in which this does not make it through. He sounds amazing. He looks amazing. I actually think sometimes he has vocal wobbles, but it's good. It fits the song. Whereas if someone like John Lundvik has perfect vocals in his song, but Duncan's feels somehow more soulful with the warbles.
I think that they are starting to nail more of the camera angles. It was better. Now they've added a new LED backdrop, which I'm not a huge fan of because it didn't really seem to add anything to the song. It was more distracting. That being said, the lighting was right. Duncan is a great leading man. This is qualifying. This is in contention to win. And I still love the song.
It's not just better, I think I'm on the full-on winner hype train for Arcade and Duncan Lawrence. This is amazing. It just, the lighting, what they've done with it, his artistry on stage, his connection with the camera, the lights. We talked a lot about Lampgate with Ilse de Lange, talking about the problems they've had illuminating the stage. They had to import a new lamp from Belgium. It was worth the struggle because it adds a real moment and gravitas and all the other good stuff that you want from the staging. The Netherlands is fantastic and absolutely going through to Saturday night.
Ooh, that was spirited. That was alive. All right, so then there are 6 countries that we all agreed on.
Azerbaijan.
Oh, honey. You know what? I've slept 4 hours. Hey, Romania. Yes. There are 4 countries. I am so tired. I slept for 4 hours last night, and that's 3 nights in a row. But we're going to bring it together, breathe in deep. Let's do this. One more country we definitely think is going through, and that is Azerbaijan. There are some Belgians here. They are so gorgeous. Honey, we're going to catch up. I love Out TV. You slay. Yes. Mwah. He is amazing. Azerbaijan. This is going through. This is technologically the most, well, not the most advanced, but among the most advanced and most eye-catching. Broken heart. He's singing truth about his broken heart. You see robots operating on his heart, a digital projection of a heart. Sometimes the robotic arm goes a little south. I'm like, what is going on? This is not safe for work. In any case, it's visually gripping. I'm not sure who's doing lead vocals at certain moments. Like at the grand climax, it's not clear who's singing. You don't see Chingiz's face, but this is a common trick employed by many, many acts, so no grudge.
I think there were vocal wobbles, or maybe it was the mixing. That doesn't really matter though, because that was a rehearsal today, I suppose. He has nailed it consistently throughout the week that we've seen him. Visually, it is stunning. I still think that it's in top 5 contendership. Really, really good. I've always rated the song, and I think that this is exactly what Azerbaijan needed to do to get back to where they were at Eurovision.
Absolutely.
Salam Baku. This is like start of the decade level stuff from Azerbaijan. They have had sort of a mid-decade wobble, but now they are back on their A game. And that's what I have to say about that.
A is for Azerbaijan. All right, there was...
A is for amazing.
Yes. There were 6 countries we agreed, or rather we all left off our list. This is not who we want to go through, we should make clear. This is who we think is going through. And in this case, this is who we think is not going through. And it often pains us to say that, so please do not take this personally. The 6 countries we named were Armenia, Ireland, Moldova, Latvia, Croatia, and Albania. In my mind, Armenia, Moldova, and Albania are... No, sorry. Armenia, Moldova, and Croatia are fighting for that last spot, maybe with Albania. It is just so tight. It is too close to call. In any case, let's take this in turn, starting with Armenia.
I really like the song. I really like Serbuk. The staging is what is letting this down still. I think that the lighting isn't great and it's just a bit too overly aggressive. I would not be disappointed if this qualified. I'd actually quite like it to qualify because Armenia always bring it. But yeah, I just think that because she's on so early, I think she'll be forgotten about. I think she was a victim of the running order here.
Amen, hallelujah. She's got one of the best voices in this competition. I think they've got some really interesting visual elements, the shattering glass. But because it goes on first, it's an uphill climb. Because when the recap comes around, you've been sitting in your chair for 90 minutes. You're like, oh yeah. Same thing for Ireland. They're also early. It's hard to remember these songs that go early. I'm keeping my fingers crossed for Armenia and Serbuk because I love them. I love their delegation. I love the passion of Armenian Eurovision fans. Barev, hey, Astan. I just worry about the running order.
Yeah, close to the borderline for me as well. Really hope Armenia will could make it through, but I couldn't put it in as one of the ones I think will qualify, purely because there's a fantastic final third minute, but the first two, it takes a while to get to that moment.
Yeah.
I see 22. Oh boy, I think of you. I'm going back into Ireland mode because it is time to discuss Sarah McTurnan.
Oh, right, yeah, sorry, my turn to discuss Sarah McTurnan as well. This has improved every time that I've seen it, I will say. I just feel like, again, it's on so early. I think that it is, the staging still doesn't really help it, and it comes across a little bit, I don't want to say cheap, but I don't know, there's just something about it. She's a really good vocalist, and she has worked so hard on improving this, fighting through illness. Full respect to Sarah, I just don't see it happening this year for Ireland.
Yeah, I mean, I think had this song been in semi-final 1, we would probably be having a different conversation about it, but it's a tough semi. I don't think the running order helps. I disagree about the camera work. I do think there are some fantastic shots in this, and certainly this afternoon, Sarah sounded the best that she had, and Ireland did sneak through last year. So there are chances, but I just think there's a lot of factors at play that meant I couldn't put it into my top 10 of songs that I think will qualify. If it will want to qualify, it would absolutely be in the 10.
Oh, amen. She is one of the personalities of the year. Orange, white, and green. Our girl is never mean. She is Miss Ireland, Miss Ire, Queen of the Emerald Isle. I love her personality. I love her voice. It is so sexy. It is so smoky. She is a mother. She is a fighter. She is a singer. I want this in the final. I just think the second spot in the running order, again, this is not always about the singer or the song or the staging. It's about other elements. And I think perhaps you have to be extra, extra good to qualify from second position.
Yeah.
And I think, unfortunately, in this instance, it's not quite aligning. But they should be very proud because this is a very catchy song and she delivers it very, very well.
Yeah.
All right. The next country we discuss is Moldova, or should I say Sand Lady featuring Moldova, Anna Odobescu.
Okay, so I know that I was being very positive about Moldova.
Very positive. You said it was going to be in the top 5.
I still really, really like this, and I still stand by the fact that I thought it could qualify and do very well. But now that I've seen everything together, and now that we've seen it in as the running order goes through, I just don't know right now. I think that I would not be surprised if this made it, but I don't know. I don't know whether it will. I just think that, again, in the field, running order, all that kind of stuff, it just sort of slides down.
Yeah, I just thought it kind of fades into the background. I think when we initially saw it in rehearsals, I was a bit, oh, they've added sand art. This is doing something on top of the song and the artist. Anna has a fantastic voice, but the sand doesn't really have too much of a narrative behind it. It's not really clear what's going on with the shapes. And after the initial, oh, she's drawing, it sort of loses impact and fades into the pack.
You know what? We got to remember, most of Europe will not have seen the sand more than once. We've seen this about 25 times now, so we're over the sand castle. The water has washed it away. But I think on first view, it's very, very impactful.
Yeah, which is why I probably felt that way when I very first saw it.
Yeah, this was on the bubbles for me. So it's not going through necessarily, but it was on the bubble. Next up, Latvia Carousel. It's the same criticism we've had for months. It just goes round and round on a loop. I don't think it's high impact enough. I don't think it's musically original enough. I just don't think this is necessarily the best type of song for Eurovision, and I can already hear the comments. There's not such a thing as a perfect Eurovision song, but there is such a thing as a high impact song that people will remember in a tough semi-final, and this is not it.
Yeah, I really like it. I think it's a really good song. I just don't know whether it's a really good song for a Eurovision competition.
I think actually in the opposite case to Armenia, this has a really good first minute, and then the atmosphere that they build kind of pieces away and vanishes into the ether. They are a jazz band doing what they do. It's a lovely quiet moment. We have seen that work before at Eurovision, but I'm just not convinced after seeing them this afternoon in the full pack of songs that they're going to go through and make it.
Round and round, love, I need you, love. And basically you've heard the song. You don't need to listen to the 2.5 minutes. All right, next up, and this one was really hard for me, Croatia. Because I actually think Croatia could go through, to be honest. I think this is very high impact. I think a lot of people will love the religious imagery, the angels, the fallen angels, the Victoria's Secret male models. Everything is here. It's very OTT, very camp, and very old school Eurovision. By old school, I mean mid-noughties.
Yes. I think that instead of being tongue-in-cheek, though, it's almost playing a bit too hard. Jacques Houdek's My Friend, I thought, kind of nailed it just about right. And I think this is more leaning towards like an Alexei, where it was just too much. I just don't think that it really works. Rocco's vocal, though, is flawless. And I think that the juries might push this up more than they would a more stereotypical, jokier entry. So, yeah, I mean, there's, again, all of these, there is a chance that somehow they could qualify. I don't feel like any of them I'm ruling out like I did maybe in Montenegro or Finland in semi-final 1. So,
I think my thing with Croatia is I actually don't think it's like too much at all. I think it is just pitch right. However, having been burned by Georgia and putting that into my selection at the last minute, I'm not convinced superlative staging is going to be enough to push this across the line.
Albania. Now listen, I want Jonida Malikci in the final. I think her voice is made for the final, and I think this rehearsal actually was her best performance thus far. They don't have much staging, but the staging they do have does work. There's the fire ring on the floor. You see I was going to say an angel, an eagle rising from the ashes in the background. And at times, you see Jonida and you catch the flames behind her. It reminds me of the music video. And I actually think there are moments that are really, really fantastic. It's just compared to the other acts, the staging is a bit empty. Now, I still think she could squeak in for that final spot. Again, Armenia, Moldova, Croatia, Albania, I think they're all competing. And maybe jurors will respect her voice, which is among the best in this competition.
Yeah, I mean, vocally, she is great. I love the song. I will be devastated if this doesn't make it through. I just don't think that it's going to make it through right now. I think that the staging, whilst they have finally added more and more elements to it, I just think that there are other ones that are just further ahead in the pecking order, unfortunately.
Yeah, I just think this really lacks staging, and it's a shame because I do think it's the case that the Albanian delegation had a vision that they wanted to deliver on stage, but they just haven't been able to put it across and get it over the line due to production problems, whatever else you want to call it, here in Tel Aviv, and therefore it just feels empty. Jonida herself sounds fantastic, probably has the best female vocal of the semi-final. However, without staging and with what is quite a dark, kind of dour performance, admittedly with some added pyro, I'm just not convinced Albania is going to make it.
All right, that leaves us with 4 countries that we have not discussed. And those 4 countries are Switzerland, Austria, Norway, and North Macedonia. Let's go through and say who of us think it is going through and who doesn't. Okay, the first one is Switzerland. She go low? No, she got me. Okay, raise your hand if you think it's going through. Okay, 2 of the 3. Angus, why don't you kick us off?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is visually arresting. It's gotten a lot tighter. The first rehearsal felt messier and not as polished, and I think because everyone was looking to make a direct comparison to the staging of Fuego, it necessarily had problems there. However, this has got a lot tighter. Luca looks more relaxed and mystical. I still think this is among the most contemporary chart songs we have in the competition. And on that basis, attractive staging, attractive man, attractive song. I really don't see what doesn't add up for Switzerland to make it through and be in the 10 envelopes that are announced on Thursday night.
Yeah, jurors love radio-friendly pop, and this is radio-friendly. You know, you may call it Despa Fuego, wiwibloggs.com, but that is Despacito plus Fuego, 2 of the most banging radio tracks of the past year. Yeah. I think his voice is back. He's recovered. It looks great. It looks expensive. This is one of the most chic contemporary performances up there. Very digital, very electronic. I am living for it. I think he's going through. I don't think this is a question.
I honestly, I'm almost putting it on there because I think there will be a shock, and I suspect that if there were to be a shock, it would be Switzerland not qualifying. I think that it's a very good performance. I just feel like I don't get any soul from it still, really. I don't know, there's just something about it where I think that there are other performers and there's certain things going on in terms of friendly or like cultural similarities that we have between borders. So I think that, I don't know, Switzerland, I can just see it happening where he doesn't make it.
Well, moving right along, Austria, who thinks this is going through? All right, Angus.
Yeah, I mean, I did not like the song in the studio cut. I think the Wiwi jury, it was like a 2 or a 3 from me. However, the staging has massively elevated this me. There's beautiful arresting moments. The lighting, Austria is probably among like 3 or 4 countries that actually use the triangles overhead, but that's a massive lighting moment and climax to it. I think Panda sounds incredible and has done in every show, and I see no way the juries aren't going to put this in the top 3 for the semi-final.
Vocally amazing. I love the staging. The sparkly like light effect that they have going is stunning. I will be very disappointed if this doesn't make it through, and I can see juries, but also I can see Telebo actually respecting this, and I can see Austria getting the points needed. I don't think that it's a safe qualifier. I think that it's, you know, on the bubble, but I would. I think it will make it.
I definitely think the juries are going to eat this up. It sounds amazing. She's so emotional. She talked about having a lot of tears. Girls always crying. I'm like, pass the tissue. Backstage, they must have a big old box of Kleenex. But well done, because she really feels this song, and that's wonderful. I'm not sure the public will feel this, though. This is a song you respect, a vocalist you respect, but it's not necessarily a song you pick up the phone and vote for, spend your coins on. You know what I'm saying? Like, I spend my coins on Fuego. Okay, Despacito. I don't know. If she makes the final, it's deserved. Yeah. It is deserved, because this is a quality performance. I'm just not convinced that it will, owing to the televote. I think with the jury, though, she's going to do very well. Yeah. All right, moving on. Norway. Who thinks it's going through? Okay, Angus.
I find it really weird, because this is one of Chris Halpin's favourite songs. Very strange. No, I think this is visually arresting as well. I think as a happy threesome, they sound incredible in everywhere else they've done. And I also think they're one of the only acts that actually seem to make the use of the full real estate of the stage without being absorbed by it and lost into it. There's lots of really nice lighting effects. It neatly straddles the balance between being kind of this radio-friendly Schlager Eurofan sound and also having a spiritual moment with the yoiking. And I just think that makes it stand out from the crowd. I think Norway is among friends in the semi-final as well, which helps, and I do think Spirit in the Sky is going to go through to the grand final.
I see the spirit in the sky when northern lights are dancing. This is amazing. I'm sorry, this is just amazing. I was lukewarm way back when this first came out, but it has just grown on me like I was going to say bacteria, like a beautiful love song. It's just really well done. It looks very expensive, it's very chic, it's very catchy, and it stands out in the running order. There are lots of really nice songs in that pack. You've got Yonida, you've got Russia, you've got the Netherlands, but this just stands out. I am feeling it, I am loving it. I see them going through.
I mean, I love Spirit Well as a song. That is what we're calling it now, right? Again, it's one of those where I can just feel it sort of in the waters. I don't know whether the jury will really go for this. I think that it's not dated, but it has a certain feel to it. I can just see a jury maybe not rank it. I feel like jurors are probably more likely going to rank a lot more songs higher than this. And also, I just don't think that the points are there in the end, unfortunately, for it. When I'm trying to work it out, it's another one I will be devastated to lose. I think I have like 15 or 16 qualifiers here. That's the real problem with the semi-final. So, yeah.
I think it comes down to what the jurors have on the sheet in front of them, because sometimes it says, vote for your favorite. Sometimes it's more specific, vote on the criteria based on, best overall state. It depends on what is put in front of them, basically. And depending, if you're judging like a TV spectacle, I'm sorry, this is one of the best. It is a proper show. But if you're just judging, what's radio friendly, what's going to make it on the radio, maybe this isn't the best pick because it's so out there. Although they did trend on Spotify globally. So, there's something there. All right, the final country we have not discussed.
I have realised I forgot to put one of my picks on there, so there are 5 countries left because we haven't mentioned Lithuania.
Oh my God! Well, let's start with that first,
yeah, Lithuania.
Honey. I don't think Lithuania is going through.
I do.
Do you?
No.
I think that Lithuania have a lot of diaspora-friendly countries who are voting in this semi-final as well. But even without that, I think that Yuri's vocal is really, really good. I think that he's a very good leading man. Fair enough, he doesn't have a lot of staging, but I think it almost works for him.
Staging.
He doesn't have any staging. He has lighting, and it's the same lighting the entire way through. That being said, I can just see Lithuania making it, and that's why I think Lithuania will and Switzerland won't. I'm saying that will be the shock, because we saw it in semi-final 1. Everybody's like, "Oh,
Hungary's out, Portugal's
Hungary," and then you end up with San Marino, who not many people predicted to qualify, and you can see it happening again in semi-final 2. That's the one that I think it'll be.
This is so nerve-wracking. OMG. All right. North Macedonia is the last country, and I'm just going to kick this off. Who thinks it's going through? Bam! Oh my God! I'm Team Chris on this one. Yay. I think this is not only going to go through, it's going to do very well. When I was watching this, I got so many tingles all over my body. This was the song, even more so than the Netherlands, actually, that gave me tingles. I still think Netherlands will win overall. But this is so powerful. She can sing. This woman can sing. The staging is so simple, yet so impactful. And I think, look, I bet you half of viewers of Eurovision are women, and this has a very strong female grab, like the images of women, celebrating womanhood, etc., etc. There's just so much to love here.
Yeah, I think there aren't a lot of countries that are televote friendly in terms of support for North Macedonia. I don't think it matters because the message of this song, the way Tamara performs it, just all the elements are there that North Macedonia not only deserve to qualify, if they don't make it, I think that there's something really wrong here because jurors should be giving this point, televote should be giving this point. Yeah, I think that it is one of the strongest of the year, vocally, visually, sensually. Let's go with that. Really, really strong.
Not only she comes off as like perhaps the strongest female vocalist. This performance, it really just fits. The song fits her, and I'd even argue she comes off as one of the best overall vocalists. There's no wavering here.
Look, were this The Voice, we'd be having a different conversation, but this is a song contest, and neither of you spoke about the song.
I love it.
Which, I have to be clear, I think the song is a ballad by numbers, and the staging, I just don't find that arresting. She stands in front of some mirrors, some photos appear on the screen. That's it. That's your lot. And she is sandwiched between a run of 6 incredibly strong competitive songs with loud, brash staging. If she gets from The Voice, deserved. I don't have an issue with that, but I just don't see this in my pick of songs to go through because it is relying largely on her voice to get there, and I just don't see it happening for me. I have not been moved by this as other people have been. I find the staging simple, and the song, I just don't think it has as much impact as other songs, as other female songs in the semi-final even.
To quote Paula Abdul, he's a cold-hearted snake. Look into his eyes. Oh, boy's been telling lies. In any case, that's what we think. What do you think? Of the 18 songs, which 10 are going to the final? Who do you think will be the shock non-qualifier? And who do you think will be the country that slays said shock non-qualifier? Let us know here on Wiwi Blogs.
You can hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and ring that notification bell.
And if you think I'm a cold-hearted snake, let me know in the comments below. And also your 10 qualifiers. You can watch us, actually, well, live stream, we're having some issues, but perhaps it'll be back soon. If not, follow us at wiwibloggs on all social media channels and the website wiwibloggs.com.
There are 18 countries in this semi-final, and you may have relatives in all of them. Find out by visiting MyHeritage. Order your DNA kit today. Go to bit.ly/wiwidna and use the coupon code ESCWiwi. We'll see you later. Bye!